This video brought to you by our Patreons. Please consider supporting this channel and joining our Patreons at patreon.com/NovaWing24.
Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are on Sunday the 25th of October 2020 for another bumper-filled edition of releases, and let's jump straight into it this week with a friend of the channel here, Iris Simulations, bringing their first product to Microsoft Flight Simulator with the release of their Jabiru double pack of the J160 and J170 aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, this release packages up two versions of the Jabiru, which is a light sport aircraft designed and manufactured here in Australia and sold globally. So J160 and its larger cousin, the J170 with a larger wing, are both powered by a four-cylinder, four-stroke 2200cc engine and have a cruising speed of about 100 knots. As I said, both aircraft are designed to be designed to fit into the light sport aircraft category, so they can operate under either sports pilot's license or LSA in Europe, or recreational aviation in Australia, and really sort of fill a really interesting niche. They've become very much at home as a training aircraft here in Australia. Now, although both these aircraft have been released previously by the developer for the ESP sims, these are brand new workings of this one. So this is a full ground-up rebuild of both aircraft to be fully compliant and fully compatible with the new sim, and to take advantage of a lot of the new features of the new sim, including custom avionics, brand new cockpits. You get a variety. You get 4 different cockpit layouts across the aircraft as well, with different instrumentation options as sold for the real aircraft as well. Not only do you get the 2 aircraft with the multiple configurations for the cockpit, you also get 16 liveries for your viewing pleasure and your aviation pleasure for various Jabirus located globally around the world. And you also get a fully interactive set of checklists, along with a bonus bush trip, which actually explores several legs around the Great Gippsland Lakes area of Eastern Victoria, which is where Iris Simulations is actually based. So it's a really neat little package, this one, and coming in at a pretty affordable price, this one. This one is available either directly from Iris or available from Orbix Direct, coming in at $25 US, or your original equivalent, available now. Continuing on with more releases for Microsoft Flight Simulator, this week we saw a release from FS Academy of their Instrument Flight Training, or IFR pack. Yeah, this is interesting. So I had a lot of mixed feelings about FS Academy. I think the content that they've been producing prior to this, I was definitely very skeptical of. I thought the quality was definitely, from what I was seeing as somebody in the media, as I was seeing, it definitely didn't seem to be on par for what they were charging. However, this one has really turned a corner for me in terms of my opinions of the developer. Now, again, I don't have this one, but this is really interesting. So this actually takes the idea of instrument, so IFR meaning instrument flight rating, or instrument flight rules. So essentially, when you're flying when you can't necessarily see the ground. Now, that may sound, okay, for many of us probably watching this new show, that's kind of obvious, but with Microsoft Flight Simulator coming in, we have a lot of new pilots and a lot of new virtual aviators coming into our hobby who don't know the skills of this one. And this was a glaring gap that was left in the release of the simulator, with the fact that there was some basic training there, but there was nothing done for instrument flying, really. So this is a really interesting posit here, where it actually goes through and actually gives you everything. It guides you on a series of aircraft, focusing mostly on the GA aircraft, but teaches you all the skills and tips and tricks that you're going to need, whether you're flying a Cessna 152 or whether you're flying a 747 in instrument flight rating conditions. Instrument flight rules conditions, you'll be able to take advantage of these skills. Now, this is all done with techniques actually drawn from actual flight schools, which actually teach the IFR sort of part of the curriculum for pilot training. And there's a documentation, very in-depth documentation, and a variety of in-depth charts, including actual accurate Jefferson charts for the areas that you fly through as well, along with the 12 lessons or 12 steps that you take as part of the course here. This takes you all the way through from very basic IFR of, the basic I concept of what is it, what do you do, how do you handle the aircraft, how do you calculate things, all the way through to actual VOR NDB tracking in both analog and glass cockpits, how to fly a holding pattern, how to do a variety of instrument approaches, including ILS, NDB, and VOR. NDB is very rare outside of Eastern Europe, but it's really interesting that it's actually there because it is a fallback when your other equipment doesn't work. And it also teaches you how to actually, plot your courses, how to do your courses, and also do things like how to use SIDS and stars. So there's a lot going on in this pack. There's a lot here, a lot to unpack with it, and it looks really, really good. I think the price point is still on the exy side, but at the same time, the skills that it's teaching are really much invaluable and going to be really, really great for long-term usage. So I think it's pretty good, this one. So this one is, as I said, FS Academy IFR, and is available for about $22 or your original equivalent, available from your favorite flight sim retailer. Continuing on with Microsoft Flight Simulator releases this week, and this week from the stables of Orbix saw their release this week of their edition of Notodden Airport. Now, this is it is a reboot of a previously released product for the ESP platform, but again, like their other products, this isn't just a straight port over. This is a full rebuild of the product and being released at a reduced price point as well. Now, this particular airport is really interesting. So it's a GA focused airport in Norway, and they're close to many of the other airports that Orbix have for that part for Scandinavia, and it's a beautiful spot for doing some VFR flying. It also includes all the airport buildings are accurately rendered and modeled, and it has been updated as well to reflect the current status of the airport. One of the interesting features of this airport as well is the fact that there is a vehicle crossing or vehicle roadway that actually goes across the runway. So it's part of the display. There is a displaced threshold there, but it actually does cross the runway. There are very few airports in the world which have this kind of thing, so it is kind of interesting that it's there, and also kind of cool that they have actually modeled it with moving cars, which is pretty awesome. Now, if you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for about $13 or your original equivalent, available now from Orbix. Continuing on with scenery releases this week. This week saw another release. It was released this week from Vertical Simulations of their edition of Norfolk International Airport. Now, again, like the previous release there from Orbix, this one is technically a partial port. So it is they've used the basic concept, and some of the basic models have been used from their previous release for X-Plane. However, they have redone the models to take full advantage of the new SDK for the new simulator, including full reclassifying all materials and completely redoing all the lighting and all the textures as well. So bringing it up to a really exceptional standard from this developer as well. Now, this is a full update. It also includes updates of the airport layout as well to make sure it does match the current layout of the airport in Virginia. And full support for PBR textures, HD modeling, HD textures throughout all of the major airport buildings as well. And all details meticulously detailed and looking pretty damn slick with the night lighting as well. If you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for around about $15 or your original equivalent, available now. Continuing on with, again, more scenery releases. This from a very prolific developer, DC Scenery Designed. I swear this guy's pushing out multiples every week. So this is his latest release is Minden Airport, which is a public use airport in Webster Parish, Louisiana. Again, like his other releases, very little information, very basic airport. I've noticed that he's walked the price point back a couple of bucks. Not much, but he has walked it back, which is interesting. After our comments on his sceneries over the last few weeks. But his team seem to be teaming up with Sim Market. And essentially, if you buy any of his products, then you get a discount on all of his other products. So I appreciate that sort of business strategy there. I think just lower your prices to start with probably might be a good idea, especially considering that a lot more of his airports are definitely very much, 2 or 3 buildings and that's it kind of thing. So, and he has said, again, I don't have these airports, but looking at the photos and the imagery, it looks like he's still using the standard photo reel that ships with the sim. So, couple of things, couple of thoughts about that one, but still good to see him sort of getting bring the price packs again. We'll see how it goes, coming in for $12 for your original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. And another scenery release this week for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, this is a really interesting one for me because I know this airport really well because I've flown in and out of it a lot going in and out of the US. So this is Cherry Capital Airport in Traverse City in Michigan, and a airport that is especially close to my heart. And as I said, I have operated out of that, flown in and out of that airport a lot over the last couple of years. Now, straight up, this comes to us from developer FSX Scenery, and straight up, this developer's laziness has shone through clear and bright yet again. The photo reveal layer underneath is rubbish. The taxiways are not very well edged. The custom buildings that are put in, the texturing looks rubbish, and straight up. So it's something that really stands out about this airport, right? That really stands out about it is that this is a U.S. Coast Guard station that has MH-60 Jayhawks operating out of here. Now, so they have a very distinctive color scheme. They have the Coast Guard air arm has a very distinctive color scheme of white with very bright day glow orange markings on the airframe because it is a rescue service. Now, the developer has chosen to put Black Hawk models in, acceptable substitute for a MH-60J Jayhawk. That's fine, but they're too lazy to recolor them, and they've just dropped them in US Army colors. Not acceptable. Absolutely not acceptable. And as I said, it's just... And the texturing on the custom buildings of like the Coast Guard hangar and the FBOs that are there is just... From the product images I'm looking at, it looks pixelated as all hell. So, yet again, FSX Scenery disappoints me. And just seems to be churning out content for the sake of churning out content. We're talking $13 or original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. Continuing on with scenery releases for Microsoft Flight Simulator. This week saw the release from P-Real Soft of their rendition of Mohammed V. Mohammed V. 5. I'm actually not sure which one that is. International Airport in Casablanca. Now, this one, again, like we saw with Orbix and with Vertical Simulations, is a partial port. So they did use their previous release of this for the ESP platforms as a basis to move over onto the new sim. However, they have redone the models and redone the textures to do full support for PBR with the new lighting and modeling engine as well. No information about it does, and also they also do support the sloped runway option as well, so it does have the sort of undulating runways and taxiways as well, which is always good to have. And all custom airport buildings updated to reflect the current state of the airport. So that one is coming in at $18 or your original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. And to pair up with that same release from the same developer, so the release this week of their Casablanca Landmarks pack for Microsoft Flight Simulator, which basically drops in a bunch of landmarks there. Unfortunately, I don't have any information of exactly how many are there, but it looks like there's at least 20. I kind of hope there's a lot more for the price tag. But yeah, essentially they've taken their Casablanca City pack that they had for the ESP Sims. They've taken the major POI buildings out and they dropped it in this one. Again, not a lot of information about this one, but yeah, it's designed to be coupled together, coming in at $12 for this one. Now, what's interesting though is that previously for the ESP Sims, they actually sold these two together as a bundle. But for Microsoft Flight Simulator, they seem to be selling them separately and not as a bundle, which is disappointing. I think they would. I honestly think they should have just bundled it with the. To be honest, I think they should just bundle it with the airport. To be honest, or if you're going to sell it as a separate one, then do the same as you did previously. Like you've established that you established the precedent that you do it, so continue doing it and offer it as a bundle pack. Otherwise, or if you just want to have the scenery rather than the airport, then as I said, you pick this one up for about $12 or original equivalent, available now from SimMarket. Sticking with Landmarks packs, so developer FlyMex, has come out with their Mexico City VFR Landmarks pack for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, this pack is, although they don't specify exactly how many, but there looks like there is a lot. They say hundreds. They don't give an exact list, but they don't have an exact number, but they say hundreds of iconic buildings, objects, and places in the city. They also correct elevations as well for a variety of the Black Shark AI driven buildings as well. And not only do they cover the Mexico City itself, they also cover areas outside of there, including and I know I'm going to butcher this, the Teotihuacan area and the Conobada area are also included, with a variety of landmarks, and temples are all included as well. So so it's really interesting, as I said, like perplexing that you're sort of juxtaposing this one to the P-Realsoft one that we just looked at before in Casablanca, where we have hundreds of what look like really high quality landmarks here in this pack, and also updates to AutoGen, and a lot less information for the P-Real one for Casablanca. Now, maybe Casablanca has just as much content as well, but they don't tell us, and that's very, very telling as well. And there's definitely not as many screenshots. Looking very similar price point though. You're looking at $13 or your original equivalent, available now from FlyMex. In a bit of a plug for myself, so full disclosure, because as many of you know, I am also a developer. I released my first 3 products for the new flight simulator this week for textures. I did release 3 texture packs this week for various aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I produced 2 freeware ones, which are based on the Cessna 172. So they are based on a historical livery of a civilian registered Cessna 172 that operated during the 1980s, supporting the Australian Air Training Corps, the Air Cadets in Victoria. So there's a version of that available for the default G1000 Cessna 172 that ships with the sim, and there's also one for the classic steam gauges for the deluxe version of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Both of those are available for free, and they are available from my Gumroad store. The third one that I've released is a what-if hypothetical that was originally produced as a commission for a client, and then is now being offered to the general public for sale as well. And this one is a what-if concept of what if Airbus Industries decided to turn the Airbus A320 into a maritime patrol aircraft, much like Boeing did with their 737 turning it into the P-8A Poseidon. And it's my sort of rendition of my concept of the aircraft as if it did exist, and how it would look in Royal Australian Navy service. So that one is available, though all 3 of those products are available from my Gumroad store. I said the Cessnas are free, and the Airbus A320 is available for $1, available now from Gumroad. All right, moving out of Microsoft Flight Simulator and moving into the world of the ESP platforms, and starting this week with a release from A1R Design Bureau with their release this week for the A15 Glider, which I didn't realize. I believe it's actually an Antonov product, actually, I think, from what the notes I'm reading here. I may be wrong. But it is a mid-wing, single-seat, V-tailed FAI open-class sailplane, first flown in the 1960s and continued to be flown. Over 350 of them were built, and they continue to be flown to this day. And during the 1960s, they did hold for a time the world gliding distance record of over 714 kilometers, which is pretty damn epic for gliding. Now, this release comes with a high detailed, high resolution 3D model with full HD textures throughout, supporting no information about whether it supports PBR textures or not, but it is supporting it with FSX and prepared in all their versions and glories as well. Aircraft performance has been designed to mimic the cost of the performance of the real aircraft as best as possible, as much as you can with a glider, I suppose. And this one is available coming in at around about $17 or your regional equivalent, available now. Continuing on with aircraft releases for the SV platforms, moving into prepared exclusive releases this week. PMDG came out with their latest expansion pack for their 737NX NGXU release with their release of their Boeing Business Jet expansion pack. Now, this is the third expansion pack for the NGXU release from PMDG and offers renditions of both the BBJ and BBJ2 line of products based on the Boeing 737-700 and 800 series, respectively. Now, they offer a full custom external modeling, as well as a full suite of internal business options as well, with some pretty neat little details included as well. And again, all the fully highly accurate renditions of the aircraft, including the uprated fuel capacity and the longer range support for the aircraft as well. Various things, as I said, it's an add-on. A lot of stuff comes through there. It does include expanded failures, expanded failures to cover off the various different features of this one as well as a variety of other stuff. But that's most of it. Most of the feature list that was released for it are actually generic to the whole 737 range. So custom ones for this, as I said, custom avionics and custom fuel tank modeling and weight balance modeling specific for this aircraft. But it also includes both the blended winglets and split scimitar winglet models and differences and details for their real world counterparts. And this one's coming in at $30 or your original equivalent, available now for prepared V4.4 and above. Continuing on with releases for Prepared V4.4 and above, Giavetsky Design this week saw the release of his latest scenery of Tokyo Narita Airport in Japan. This is an airport that we actually recently just flew around here in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so it's kind of cool to see it in a beautiful detail here for the older sims. Now this is it's an international airport serving the Greater Tokyo area of Japan and located about approximately 60 kilometers east of central Tokyo as well. It's a variety of very busy international routes servicing, including quite a few to Europe, as well as a couple to Australia and other Asian destinations as well as many domestic routes. Includes high definition, high detailed models and rendition of the airport as it appears in 2020, including all terminal buildings constructed, including a lot of internal details as well, and all major features covered in with beautiful high definition ground polys and ground textures as well, detailing all of the airport layout and custom details and various different things as well. There's a lot going on at that airport. There really is. His stuff is always incredibly detailed. It really is. And this one's coming in at about $25 or your original equivalent, available now from your favorite flight sim retailer. And another scenery release for Prepared V4 and above. So this release from Gaia Simulations of their rendition of Berlin Tegel Airport. Now, this is if you're thinking a bit of deja vu on this airport, you would be right, because we've seen this airport pop up in the last 2 weeks worth of news. So initially it was released for for Microsoft Flight Simulator, then it was released for X-Plane, and now it is rounding out the set by being released for Prepared V4 and above. Not a lot of details for it, other than it's a layout of the airport as it appears currently. Textures and the screenshots look pretty damn awesome. Looks like it does full support for PBR. Highly accurate modeling and accurate airport layout as it currently is. Interestingly enough, though, the airport is currently, I actually thought I was thrown a few weeks ago when I first looked at this, was like, okay, I thought this airport had closed. It was supposed to close several years ago, but the replacement airport hasn't been finished yet, so it's been postponed, and apparently it's on track to be closed later this year. Though we're running out of time this year, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, if you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for about $23 or your original equivalent, available now from Orbix Direct. Moving out of the ESP Sims and moving into the world of X-Plane, so this week the release of the F-16C Block 52 Fighting Falcon from developer Delta Wing this week. So Delta Wing Simulations brought it to life. This is an interesting one as well. So it's a combat aircraft, but they haven't released it with weapons though. So this is they're calling it their Airshow Edition, which is their first release of the F-16C. Now they have said they haven't promised that they're sort of hinted that there's going to be additional releases coming later on. So they've said that this first release of our F-16C is orientated into the airshow edition of the jet. No weapon systems will be available in this first special edition. So it hints that there's going to be an edition later on that has weapons modeling, or at least the visuals of it anyway. But nothing is actually confirmed, at least nothing that I could find. Now, this particular rendition includes a highly detailed 3D external and internal model, as well as highly detailed 3D figure. 3D pilot figure includes 8 highly detailed real-world F-16 demo liveries, plus the developer's house livery as well. Includes custom coding and custom system simulation, including a full rendition, a full modeling of the joint helmet-mounted display system. Helmet-mounted queuing system. My apologies. As well as a full custom modeling of the MFD's displays, which can also be popped up as 2D panels as well. Includes 4K textures throughout, as well as customized particle systems, cockpit lights, external lights, cockpit effects as well. In terms of the stores, as I said, although it doesn't have weapons, it has smoke winders, so sort of smoke generators on the wingtips. It also has wing fuel tanks, centerline fuel tanks, and travel pods, as well as conformal fuel tanks as well. So they're definitely laying the groundwork for a perhaps a combat version, but for now is definitely very much a unarmed air display version. So we'll have to see how that goes. If you want to pick that one up, you can pick that one up for $45 or your regional equivalent, available from explain.org. And another release for the Explained World saw an interesting release on this. This is an add-on pack, this one. This is the Pilatus PC6 Adventure Pack from Thoranda Designs. Now, Thoranda Designs released their PC6, which is the Turbo Porter, which is one of the most ubiquitous workhorses around of the latter part of the 20th century, that's for sure. And they've released this as an expansion update pack for it. Now, we don't often see that, but what it does, it includes a lot of stuff here. It actually includes a couple of new models for the aircraft as well. Now includes a bush tire variant, includes an amphibious variant as well. Also includes a ski variant, so very much harking back to the old FSX days, for those who've been around that long. And so for glacier operations, also include mud flaps, which you can turn or enable to disable for all versions. Includes updated cockpit layers, including an updated G1000 as well. Full set of PBR painting textures have been supported as well, and gives a version with larger door windows to allow for skydivers, and that is the other part of this expansion pack that's kind of batshit crazy. It now has it claims to have the most innovative addition to an X-plane aircraft ever: skydivers. You can actually jump out of your aircraft as a skydiver and control the skydiver and the 9 of your other skydivers into formations in the sim, while an AI flies your airplane back. That's nuts. So weird, so cool, rather random. And Thoranda definitely pushing the barriers of stuff, but it looks, I don't know how they've done it, but it looks kind of cool. So this one's coming in at $17 or your regional equivalent, available now from explain.org. Continuing on with releases for X-Plane, saw the release this week for the Robinson R44 Raven 2 from V-Sky Labs as part of their test pilot series this week. So this one is a highly detailed rendition of the Robinson R44, which is the larger version of the R22 that many of us who've been flight simming for a long time are very, very much aware of, or been exposed to as our first sort of helicopter in a sim. So the R44 essentially is a 4 to 6 seater bigger. It's the big brother of the R22 is basically what it is. Now this particular rendition includes a highly detailed 3D model of both internally and externally. Full PBR texturing support, full high definition PBR texturing support, with a highly detailed and highly accurate flight model using the experimental flight model of X-Plane 11. Includes a variety of options, including you've got a variety of both classic analog and digital flight panels, including a fully featured GNS 530, built-in Avitab compatibility as well, full VR support, removable doors, and a full modeling of all major airport systems as per the pilot's handbooks, including the R44's auxiliary fuel system. And one of the things as well that they claim is that this is a fully capable of being able to execute a auto rotation if required, which is a big deal for that one there. Anyway. And that was coming in at $35 or your regional equivalent, available now from xplane.org. Continuing on with another release, and this one's a reboot release from AOA Simulations this week as they rebooted their rendition of the F-35B Lighting II. So for those who don't know, the F-35B is the Vistol or Stovol version of this one, which is a short takeoff vertical landing. It's not Vistol actually, because they've described it as Vistol. It's not. It's Stovol. Short takeoff vertical landing. It's the version of the F-35 that supports that, and comes in with a couple of different variations. They've done a full overhaul and a full rebuild of the model and the flight dynamics as well, to now actually so its behavior is a lot closer to publicly available information for the real aircraft, and the things that you can actually maneuvers and performance that you actually see in from the being available to the public is now all able to be replicated in this sim, which is pretty damn awesome. As well as that, it also includes a variety of custom systems modeling as well, including the distributed aperture system, which is a basically it's a set of cameras around the outside of the aircraft that allows the pilot, if you switch that on, allows you to look essentially like it's like looking through the aircraft kind of thing. Also includes the option for in-flight refueling, target tracks and boat tracks as well. Be able to land on carriers. Includes the approach power compensation auto throttle mode as well, to allow for aircraft for approaches, which is really important for flying this aircraft. Includes full set of custom fly-by-wire control system and a full support for a helmet-mounted display system as well, rather than the heads-up display of legacy aircraft. Full modeling of the panoramic cockpit display as well, and includes 3 different models for close air support, anti-shipping, or land attack, and the weapons systems now do actually work as well, which is kind of cool, which is one of those things that's lesser known that X-Plane 11 does support. Now, if you're an existing owner of the F-35B from AOA Simulations, this is a free update for you. If you're a new purchaser, you're looking at $36 or your regional equivalent, available now from xplane.org. Moving out of the flight simulation world and moving into the world of the permanent way, saw this week the release for Train Sim World 2, the latest route add-on, Hauptstrecke München Augsburg route this week, which is a high-speed intercity express and S-Bahn services across Germany, this one. Now this one you get a couple of different very different sort of options with this one. You sort of get the 403 ICE 3 high-speed rail EMU, and then you get the 423 electric motive unit in the S-Bahn livery for more sedate traveling. Now, this particular route includes 62 kilometers from München to Augsburg, with a highly detailed feature-rich driving cabs of all the trains. Includes over 100 route tasks for you to complete throughout the things, as well as 5 detailed scenarios for the route as well as being fully compatible with livery designer, scenario planner, and having training modules included as well. And this pack's coming in at $30 or your regional equivalent, available now on Steam. And with that now does round out the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.